Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday and we're here once again, and I thank God that you're here too. Hi everybody, welcome aboard. It's another Friday edition of the Coffee Hour, right? And we're here all together right here as one big family. We get together and of course we get together and have conversation, coffee, tea, cocoa, donuts, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to be here for the next hour. And in that next hour, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to be telling you that in just a few minutes. But first off, I want to say to welcome all of you guys, old and new, and those of you who have been around a long time, you already know how this game goes. But for the rest of you who are just joining us for the first time, and I love when newcomers come in, and I hope some of you are newcomers so I can explain what's going on. I'm the host of this show, The Coffee Hour, and as we get started, as I get things rolling, as I'm doing right now, to open up the show, you can take the opportunity right now. If you have your keyboard and your fingers available, well, that's all you need to talk back to us, because all you have to do is just type in on your telephone or your computer or your iPad or any kind of device that you may have, even your tablets, right? You can use all of those things to get in touch with us, and I will see you right there on the big screen, and I will, of course, address you. And if you have any questions or anything, we're going to talk about that. But the whole thing is to get involved in conversation, and we hope that you will do that. A lot of you who are working at this particular time may be at work right now. And some of you may be on your coffee break. And if that's the case, well, why don't you take your coffee break and keep it at your desk, right? Take that 15 minutes or whatever they allow you to take. Stay at your desk, watch the show, and then when your time is up on your coffee break, then of course you can go back to work. You'll be right there at your desk. And of course you can do what they call multitasking. You can watch the show and of course work at the same time. And I know that you're that talented to do that. So we invite each and every one of you. Now, for those of you who are here for the very first time, remember that we're on 3 different places. We come on live Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and any 3 of those platforms will get you there. All you have to do is just apply yourself, whichever you want to choose. And so I just want to say hi to all you guys, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, because you can be anywhere around the world. It doesn't matter. I don't care where it is. We're global and we're all over the place. And as long as you're in an area where you have great Wi-Fi and a nice hot spot, it's all good. And so thank you for being with us. Now, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, take the time right now to tag all of your friends. Maybe not all, maybe some of them, a selective few that you may want to get involved, and tag them, and they'll come in, because when they see that tag, they'll know it's from you, they'll trust you. And all you have to do is they'll click onto it and it brings them directly to us. And that's all it takes, just directly to us. It's no problem. And so tell your friends, tag as many as you like, as many as you can. If you have like 1 billion friends on your Facebook page, obviously you can't tag them all, right? But maybe every week, a little at a time, you can tag a few more and get them involved in the company. Okay, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I always encourage you to always take time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And all it takes is your mouse that you can drag over to where it says subscribe. You put that arrow right there and you just click right onto it, and that's all it takes. Now, there's no money, no dues, no fees, no nothing financially involved. All you have to do is just click onto it and it takes you there. Now, the purpose of being a subscription or subscriber to the website is that every time we come on live from here on in, and I think you already did that, right? You subscribed already, right? From here on in, what will happen every time we go on the air live and you happen to forget about the show at any point while you're on the air live, you get that instant notification. It'll pop right up there and you say, wow, I forgot all about the show. And all you have to do is just click onto that instant notification and it brings you directly to us. That's all it takes, you know? And even if we so much as post a video or some sort, you get notification. So that's the great thing. And you know, it really helps us out too, because the more the merrier. The more people that we have that subscribe to us, and a lot of people do it, the better off it'll be. And you don't get a prize for it, but just the benefit of getting the notification every time we come on live or post a video. Now, for the rest of you who are watching on Instagram, you have to do nothing. The only thing that we would ask you to do is just share the wealth with your friends, you know, your family, friends, relatives, and let them know about the show and keep them going. And we really would appreciate that. Now, I think there's a way that you could also communicate with your friends on Instagram as well. Just type, I guess, I don't know how it works. Type my name in, or the website that I'm on, that the Facebook page is on. Cut and paste that website, right, and send it to them, and they'll click onto it, and it'll bring them up there. So yeah, that does make a lot of sense. You can tag your friends. So do that, and we really would appreciate that. We've got a lot of things coming on this Friday. Of course, it's a small hour, and we cram everything into one big hour. We try to do the best we can with that. But I do know that in conjunction with interacting with you personally, we do our little thing, such as sports is coming up. That's coming up not too far away in the program, right in this particular half hour. Brian Camp will be along with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And if you have any questions, sports related, he will be able to answer them. Now, when I left Brian last night on Talkback Live, he said that it was like a 50-50 chance of him being here. He didn't pop in yet. We didn't see him. But when he does, we'll let you know about that. But even if he doesn't, you know, that gives us a signal to know that we'll cover for it. We have all the materials to cover for it. So we have all the things in the background. You know, we keep things going. You know, they say you got to have something in the bullpen. And so that's what we got going. But anyway, assuming that he will be here, he will be here, and he'll be right here on the screen. You'll see him. We link up with him from New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. And you'll see him if you're watching us on Facebook and watching us on YouTube. But if you're watching us on Instagram, we do not have that luxury of you won't be able to see him, but you'll be able to hear him anyway. And you can still do the same thing like everyone else. You can ask your questions, and he won't be able to see you because you're on Instagram, but I see everything here. So I will be able to see you, and then I will relate the questions that you may have for him. And he'll answer all the questions. So it's no difference. The only thing is that you won't be able to see him. So that's all coming up. And later on, before the show is over, as usual, I always have my picks of the week of movies, because the weekend is coming upon us very, very soon, sooner than you think. You think that it's going to be a long day for you. It's Friday. Don't worry about it. You know, it'll go quicker than you think. And then the weekend is yours. However, on the weekend, you do a lot of things. And one of the things that some people like to do is just relax, sit back, watch TV, or catch up on some old movies. And if that's you, then I have a few movies for you to watch to add onto your list of what to watch this weekend, along with some of the things that you may want to watch. So we have all of that coming up, and we look forward to all of you coming in and chatting with us. All right, we look forward to that. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or Zoom, or any social media outlet or broadcast facilities. I want to say hello to Mary Reed, one of my faithfuls out there. She's watching us on Facebook. Yeah, she's watching us on Facebook. And she said she almost forgot the Coffee Hour. She almost forgot. Hey, that's okay. It's just like I said, if you're, Mary, the thing you ought to do too is also go onto my YouTube channel as well. And this way you can click on subscribe to it. And if you happen to be online at any time and you forget about it, it'll pop up. And you don't necessarily have to watch on Facebook. You can watch on YouTube as well. But look, you know what? I'm glad you're here anyway. You know, go grab some coffee and sit back and relax with us. We've got so many things going on, as I said before, and we want you part of the action. So stay with us. And those of you who are inclined to chat with us, we really appreciate that. I do, because I like to address all of you personally. Now, some people, as I said, like to sit back and just watch the show, figure it all out, right? Some people are shy, they don't want to talk in, but they want to sit back and enjoy, and that's okay too. But if you so decline, well, we really appreciate that. And if that's what you're going to do, you want to chat with us, if you would. It's not mandatory that you do. I only ask you if you would. You give us your weather forecast wherever you are around the world, across the nation, wherever you're watching the show. Let us know what your weather forecast is in your area. All right, because I like to compare notes. I do, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And for those of you who live in the New York and in the vicinity of New York City, don't have to worry about that, because I'll take care of the local stuff. And I guess you already know by saying that we're coming to you from New York City. That's where we're located. That's our location. That's where we broadcast from New York City. And of course, a lot of people come in from different areas. I've had people come in from Texas and Japan and different places, to say hello. So we hope that you would stick around and enjoy. Well, you already know it's Black History Month. We have one more week to go, and the end of Black History Month, the final day of Black History Month, will be next Thursday, the 29th. So we only get 29 days in this month, right? And so that means we're going to squash the month of February. And so we look forward to March. That's coming in March. And when I say March, and every time I mention March, I always think about March Madness, which is sports related, right? But I leave that open for Brian to talk about March Madness and all of those things that he normally talk about if he's here, if he comes in. But February is just about over. I hope, by the way, you had a great long weekend. We just got over President's Day, right? And of course, President's Day is the day that more people take off. A lot of people take off on that day, President's Day, and they, just do whatever they do. And so, if you had the luxury of doing that, I hope that you had a good one. Which, by the way, will make it a short week for you, which is right now. This is the end of the weekend. We go on the weekend circuit again. But President's Day, I remember a long time ago when we used to celebrate President's Day. It wasn't just President's Day. A long time ago, before they came up with this President's Day, there was two presidents that they only celebrated. They as legal holidays. It was Lincoln and Washington. Now, yesterday was the 22nd. That made it George Washington's birthday. And whatever day that fell on, and I don't care what day of the week it was on, those are the days that everyone took off. And the 16th was Abraham Lincoln's day. And whatever day that happened, they took off. So they combined it. They said, let's celebrate all the presidents. How about that? Celebrate all the presidents, which we do right now. We celebrate all the presidents by having President's Day. And now they no longer have to wait to a certain day. It's always on a Monday. That's why you have those long weekends, because I don't know. I guess they just got tired of people just celebrating those two birthdays, and they fall on different dates. And sometimes people come back after the weekend, and then whatever holiday that comes on that day, they take off, and then they have to go back to work the following day. So they figure, well, let's stretch it out. Let's make it a whole weekend. And so that's what they did. And I hope you did have a great President's Day. And I said that, and also to say that we're, again, celebrating Black History Month. As I said that earlier. I kind of made a switch, from that to the President's Day. But Black History Month is still here. It'll be here up until next Thursday. That will be the last day. And we're still celebrating Black History Month. Now, Black History Month doesn't mean that you have to stop celebrating or stop researching Black heritage. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that it's a month of celebration. And we have a lot of months of celebrations for a lot of things that's coming up this year. And so with Black History Month, you got that going. And if you have any stories that you want to talk about on Black History Month, please feel free. We'll get you out there. We'll talk about it. And then, it'll be an education for other people. And I urge you guys to go out and check out your favorite, your Black achiever by going on Google and Googling them and finding out more about them. There are a lot of movies, Black-oriented movies that are on TV shows and all kinds of things that are marking the Black History Month. So we've got that going on. Okay, and so as the month lingers on and goes on, we also want to talk about National Cancer Prevention Month. That's another thing that's happening on this month, and it's very important that we know all about that. That's the health section. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health nut or anything like that, but I do know it's worth talking about National Cancer Month. If you want to make any contributions to the Cancer Society, go to the American Cancer Society. And because that's a legitimate outlet, and you can donate to them any way you can. People do a lot of things. They volunteer, they do whatever it takes. But, you know, cancer a long time ago was, once you got it, it was like a death sentence. But there are treatments now. There's no cure. There's still no cure for it. But all of us are doing the best we can to fight it if you happen to catch it. You have some of the common cancers as you get older. Some people come along, like let's say for men, and I'm an advocate of this, men who develop prostate cancer. Now that's common. That's common. And it's also said that, and I know this for a fact too, because being a survivor myself, if you live long enough, you'll have an issue. You may not get cancer, but you'll have an issue. So that's why it's always good to check with your urologist and check out your PSA level, and hopefully it's down to 0. That's where you want to be. And some people, they have elevated PSA levels, and you want to make sure that you bring that down. Doctors can tell you how to do it, or they could treat you, or whatever it is takes. But you want to live as long as you can, and if you're going to live with it, you're going to want to do the best you can with it. So that's why we celebrate National Cancer Prevention Month. And that's why we want to try to prevent it. How do you prevent it? Well, of course, you want to, if you never encountered cancer, I'm happy for you. And make sure that you stay that way for as long as you can. You know, have a great diet, exercise, go to the gym, and do whatever you can to avoid all kinds of things, not just cancer, but colds, common colds and things like that. A lot of people take a lot of vitamin supplements, and of course, they do that, and they want to make sure that they're okay. So that's the whole thing. And while we're on the health thing, we want to talk about the COVID-19. COVID-19. Now, they have a new an updated version of the COVID-19 vaccination. And you can take that at any time. You could go to your pharmacist. If you have a pharmacist, your favorite pharmacist, what they'll do is they will let you know whether or not you have to go online to make the appointment. Now, depending on where you are. Now, some people could walk right into a pharmacy and say, hey, I want to take the shot. It depends on where you live, but sometimes they say, hey, okay, you have to make an appointment. You can do it online. And some people say, well, you're here. We can't give you today. We can make an appointment with you right here on the premises. Okay. And just make the appointment. And it's very important. And when you make that appointment, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you keep that appointment. It's very important. And it'll keep you in good health. You want to be proactive. And so, with all of these things going around, you want to see your doctor on a regular basis. Some people are afraid to go to doctors, and I can understand that. A lot of people don't want to do it. But just go, go there and make sure when you take those shots, make sure your children are vaccinated and things like that. Now, whatever the stories that you heard about the vaccines, there's a chip in the vaccine and they're going to control you like you're in the Twilight Zone or something. It's nothing like that. They're lies. They just don't add up. That just doesn't add up. But people have a right to believe what they believe. I certainly don't believe that because it's health. A lot of people, we've been taking vaccinations for years and years and years, right? Back in the 50s, they had the polio vaccinations, which I heard that polio made a comeback. I'm not sure about that, but it was a big thing back in the 50s, and tuberculosis shots and all of those things, they were all there, you know, and so we've been vaccinated for a long time. When you were a kid, you took your polio shots. You had to go to the health clinic, right? Your mom and your dad made sure that you went there, you take your shots. When you were a little baby, you took shots, and you're still alive and you're still well. And that's the most important thing. So please, make that appointment to take your updated COVID shot, and keep in touch with your doctor at all times, uh, whether he wants to see you semi-annually or annually, go see him. Just stay on top of your health, because that avoids a lot of things that people are frightened of today. So we want to make sure that happens. Okay, we've got things going on. We got that weather forecast coming up for you, but we'll have that in just a few. But right now, I want to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina, because Brian did show up. And so we're going to have him on right now. He's here every week at this time with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, he's going to be talking about a lot of sports. And of course, as I always say, if you have any questions, any sports related questions, he's the man to ask. Am I right about that?
Oh, you're 100% right on that. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Good morning to you all. How are you all doing out here? I have a very quick sportscast. Hope everybody's well. I'm in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is drizzling out here today, 56 degrees. So it's a little nasty weather here, but it's all fine and it's all good. But in sports, let me get right to it. This day in sports, February 23rd, 1934, Casey Stengel becomes manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. 1964, Charlie Finley signs a 4-year lease to keep the Major League Baseball A's in Kansas City. 1968, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain becomes the first NBA player to score 25,000 points. 1985, Indiana University basketball coach Bobby Knight throws a chair onto the court during the game. Many of you all remember that, I'm pretty sure. 1991, North Carolina is the first NCAA basketball team to win 1,500 games, 1,500. And in 2021, Tiger Woods, we all remember this one, crashes his car driving south of Los Angeles, injuring both of his legs. And his golf game has never been the same since. So, but we're glad that he's still here, that he survived that crash. Birthdays today. Happy birthday to the late Elston Howard. Elston Howard, he was the Major League Baseball catcher, first African-American player to ever play for the New York Yankees. He was born in St. Louis, Missouri. 1937, Tom Osborne, Nebraska NCAA coach and Hall of Famer, coached 3 national championships, was born in Hastings, Nebraska. 1941, remember Ron Hunt, he used to purposely get hit by a pitch ball in baseball. He used to play for the San Francisco Giants and second baseman, was born in St. Louis, Missouri. 1943, happy birthday, Fred Biletnikoff, NFL wide receiver, Hall of Famer for the Oakland Raiders. And he was the 1976 Super Bowl MVP, was born in Erie, Pennsylvania. Happy birthday in 1963, Bobby Bonilla was born. Bobby Bonilla, Major League Baseball outfielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates, was born in New York City, New York. Strangely enough, with Bobby Bonilla, he's still getting a contract for the Mets I think for the next 5 to 10 years, I think. They made an agreement some years ago where he would get paid. This was trying to make room for other Mets who could sign, but he has one of those rare deals where he's actually getting paid for lifetime. And happy birthday to Andrew Wiggins. He was born in 1995. NBA starting forward, was born in Toronto, Ontario, and was one of the fixtures of the championships that they won a couple of years ago with the Golden State Warriors. Black History. As we wind down, we got two more Thursdays to go, Fridays, or if you want to call it. 1947, Jackie Robinson, as you all know, this is nothing new, is the first African American to play and win a Rookie of the Year for the Brooklyn Dodgers as he broke um, the barrier for all colored people and people of color to play in the major leagues. And he is historically known every April 15th. He he is being honored. His numbers retired throughout the entire major league. 1947, Larry Doby, first African American player to play in the AL, the American League. 1947, Jackie Robinson and Dan Baghead, first of African American to appear in the World Series against one another. 1952, Joe Black, first African American pitcher to win a World Series game. 1955, Sam Jones is the first African American to win 20 games and a Cy Young Award. I know there's a lot of stuff here, but this is all first. This is for all baseball. Jackie Robinson, 1962, the first African American to be enshrined into Baseball Hall of Fame. And 1962, Buck O'Neil is the first African American to be a major league coach. 1964, Willie Mays is the first African American to be chosen to be a team captain for the San Francisco Giants. 1966, Emmett Ashford, the first African American to be a baseball umpire. 1971, the Pittsburgh Pirates was the first team to have field all black players or people of color to play in the starting lineup. That was in 1971. That was in September. I don't know the exact date, but I do remember it was in September. 1975, Frank Robinson is the first African-American player to be a major league manager. 1977, Bill Luke is the first African-American to become a general manager for the Atlanta Braves. And in 1992, Cito Gaston, first African-American to win a World Series and won it again the following year for back-to-back World Series championships. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a not so busy week of sports, but it's football's over and basketball is coming towards the last quarter of the season, and yes, around the corner. I don't know if many people still think baseball is still American pastime, but it's around the corner. They already started playing exhibition games.
I can't wait for it. Brian, I know you're a little rushed. I can see that, and I'm going to let you go. But before you go, I want to see what you have on the horizon, what you see on the horizon for March Madness.
March Madness, we'll find out. That's a good question. We'll find out this week and the following week when they start playing the tournaments of the respective conferences. Once we find out of the bracket, then we'll give our analogy. But as you know, with March Madness, it is crazy. That's why they call it March Madness, because you just don't know who's going to be a Cinderella team. We don't know who's going to be the favorite, because there's always a bump in the road from these favorites that's going to happen. That's what makes this here tournament so beautiful and great, because there's always a bump in the road and somebody's going to get knocked off.
So many things going on, and then we got the Olympics coming up in Paris. All of those things are coming up. We got a great foresight to see ahead of us. Got a lot of great things to look forward to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I will keep you all updated as well too. So, but it's sports is in a good time right now. As the weather is breaking slowly, at least here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's even though it's a little drizzle, but the sun is trying to peek through. So, but the temperature is mild though.
Good. Okay, before they tackle you, I'm going to let you go, and we'll get you back here next week. Okay.
If I get tackled, I'm taking a couple of them with me. I don't go out too lightly.
Have a good weekend. Take care of yourself.
Take care. Bye.
That's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Busy man, but he got the sports in, and we're glad that he did that. And there's so many things to talk about in the sports world. I mean, we could talk about sports all day. And like I said, it's a lot to look forward to. I mean, we talk about March Madness, which he's going to be giving us all that information about March Madness and things like that. We look forward to that, and that would be great. And then as I said, the Olympics this time coming out of Paris. So all of you people who live in Paris, I'm pretty sure that the revenue is going to be shaking pretty good over there, when it comes into town. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and I'm going to be with you for the remaining of the hour. We're just about 30 minutes away before closing time. And I want to take time to say hello to Senor Cigar, Senor Cigar, Kevin Briscoe, out of New York City. Yeah, and he come to talk to us about Bobby Bonilla. He gets $13 million. Oh, okay, this is something that I guess Brian didn't cover. But see, this is what I like. This is why it's always good to have people here to back us up on a lot of things. But see, Bobby Bonilla gets $1.3 million every July 1st until 2035. How old do you figure Bobby Bonilla is? 2035. That's a long time. That's about what, 11 years? That's about 11 years. He doesn't have to worry about anything for 11 years. How old do you figure he is, Kevin, Bobby Bonilla? How old do you think he is? I just don't know. I'm just not up on that. But when he gives us that answer, we'll tell you more about it. But those of you who are joining us, let us know what's happening in your weather. Those of you who are living in New York City, don't worry about it. I've got that covered for you. And the weather is New York. I'm just hoping that wherever you are around the world and across the country, your weather is pretty much, on the up and up, and you'll get a chance to do whatever you want to do on the weekend. I'm pretty sure of that. But what we have here in New York City, temperatures go up. You could even feel the cold weather subsiding a little bit, and that lets me know that summer is on its way. Spring, well, we got to get spring before summer, but that warm weather is on the way, and we're looking forward to it. At least I'm looking forward to, because as you guys already know, you guys know me very well. I do not like cold weather. But I live in an area where we have the 4 seasons. And I'm not talking about Frankie Valley with the 4 seasons. I'm talking about the actual 4 seasons. And we take it. Now, some places like where Brian lives, it gets pretty nippy out there where he lives down south. But some places other than that, and other places like desert areas where they don't get that real frigid weather. But we get it. We get the 4 seasons here. And so my favorite part is the summer, because there's so many things to talk about, so many activities, so many things to do. And I just can't wait for this summer. 45 degrees outside right now, and it doesn't look that bad. Okay, make your own judgment. Today, we're going to have areas of patchy fog, and that's early today, and cloudy this morning. It'll continue to be cloudy this morning. A few showers developing during the afternoon. We'll have a high 47 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be only 30%. So that's not bad. That's why I said, considerable clouds this evening, and some decrease in clouds on late tonight. And we'll have a slight chance of rain showers. We'll have a low around 37 degrees. Winds will be north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Saturday, my favorite day of the weekend. Yours too, right? Okay, we get better. And considerable cloudiness early, then some decreasing in clouds, and later on in the day. So sun will break on Saturday. We'll have a high 41 degrees. Winds will be north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For Saturday night, you're going out on the town. Okay, clear skies. Don't worry about it. Leave the umbrella home. Clear skies, low 23 degrees, winds will be north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Make sure that you get back in time to go to church in the morning, right? And because there are no problems there. Just in time for Sunday, we've got mainly sunny skies, high around 40 degrees, winds will be southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Repeating our current temperature outdoors, we have a currently 45 degrees. Now, what's happening in your area? And we hope that your weather is just as good, or maybe even better. Well, I say just as good because it's not really bad. What I just read, it's not really bad. We don't have no soaking rain or anything, and we don't have any snow or anything. We had our worst snow, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, but that wasn't it wasn't that bad. We got by, it wasn't like they were going to predict like a big blizzard or anything, but we got by it. But the weekend is not that bad. So, act accordingly. And again, those of you who are going to just cool it out for the weekend, just want to lay back and forget about it and say, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just there's a lot of things to do even in the rain. That doesn't mean you have to go outside in the rain. I want to go outside in the rain. You don't want to have to do that. Or I wish it would rain. Temptations. Okay, but we'll have a good weekend. Now, Kevin Briscoe just told me that Bobby Bonilla is in his late 40s. Okay. So I guess this is an ironclad contract he has, because we're talking about this contract is for 11 years. This is about 11 years up until 1935. So if he decides to retire before that, and he's near the retirement age, 40 years old, you're near the retirement age, even though some people, play beyond that. And I guess he's going to play beyond 40. Some people, I've known some players that play beyond 40 up to 45 years old, but 11 years. So if he's late 40s now, 11 years old, 11 years from now, he will be 51, right? That'll make him 51 years old. And I'm sure he's going to retire well before that contract is up. But the money pours in. The money pours in. So I'm happy for him. I was going to say easy money, but it's not easy money. Nothing is easy. I don't care what kind of job you have. Nothing is easy. You work for it. At least some people do. Anyway, if you're just joining us. Oh, wait, something else came up. He's just found out that he's actually 61. Wait a minute. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. From 40 to 61, you just found out he's 61. He's actually 61 years old. Okay. But he's still going to get that money. That money, that was the deal, right? What is he doing? Is he behind the scene? Do you know whether or not he's behind the scenes or he's in the front office or anything like that? Because that could be the work. Because 61 is definitely not old. He's not an old man. He's still at the working age. He's not even retired yet, and he doesn't have to worry about retirement for another 4 or 5 years, right? Something like that. Or did they change that? Because now retirement age, they want to boost that to 70 years old. You know why they want to do that, right? They want to boost you to 70 years old. Now, the baby boomers, we're all set. Baby boomers retired at a certain age. I think it's 60. When I retired from, and I don't like to call myself retired. I like to say semi-retired, because now I can do what I do here and other things outside of this show, within my business of radio and TV, but do it on my own terms. But at the retirement age, when I actually started the retirement age, it was supposed to be 66 years old, but I did that earlier. But yeah, 66 years old is the retirement age for the baby boomers. Now, I think after that, the millenniums, right, have to wait. I don't know. Help me out. If they could help me out with this, because I go back and forth with this. I hear one thing and then I hear another thing. They're going to boost it up to 70. The age 70. That's exactly what I thought, Mary. That's exactly what I thought. 70 years old. And for those of you who were born in the 50s, you're baby boomers like me, and 50s and early 60s, I think baby boomers was from up until I think 65 or 66 or something like that. I don't know. 1965, 1966, something in that area. But yeah, you're right. I've heard that before, and I think you just confirmed it for me. 70 years old, yeah. And something. The reason why, and no one's stupid. None of us are stupid. We all know what the deal is. You already know why they boosted up to 70, right? You already know why, right? And I'm not afraid to say it. You know, they don't want to pay you your due. You know, they want to get rid of Social Security in the first place anyway. And yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to get rid of it altogether anyway. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what they're going to do. You know, you pay into the system all your life. You work, you slave for your kids, you pay out tuition, you send your kids to college, you do this, you do that. You work hard. You know, you retire. Some of you retired with pensions in conjunction with your Social Security, which is good, right? You got that. And they want to take all of that away from you. You know, I don't think it's going to happen. But, you know, it's not fair because, you know, something you work hard, you paid into the system all your life. I was a working person ever since I'm 14 years old. I mean, at 14 years old, I learned the art of working. We had back then working papers. You guys remember the working papers? You had to go to one of the local office where they have the working papers. I think they still have those working papers for kids who are underage and not to work in the legitimate field of employment, but have working papers to, let's say, for instance, you could be hired at a supermarket bagging groceries or something like that. They can employ you for that. Those are light jobs, you know. And I started my working career at the age of 14 years old. And even before 14 years old, I remember I used to go to my mom used to wake me up Saturday morning. Saturday was my weekend. That was my weekend. She used to wake me up at Saturday mornings when I was 14 years old, 15 years old. Go to the A&P. We had a grocery store back in the old days called the A&P supermarket. Now, if anybody out there are younger, you wouldn't know what that is because they demolished that A&P altogether. They had the A&P supermarkets. They had the Met supermarket, the Scotoro supermarkets. I'm taking you guys way back, right? They had the Key Food supermarkets, a lot of those old supermarkets, right? Anyway, we had a supermarket that was like down the street from where I live called the A&P supermarket. And she used to wake me up, go in there and bag groceries. And what we used to do, we used to bag groceries. Back in those days, they allow you to do that. You'd be at the cash register with the cashier. You could sit side by side with her or stand side by side with her. And while she's ringing them up, you're bagging them up and you're putting it into the cart. And when people come in, you always ask them, do you need any help with your groceries? You know, they say, yeah. And then you wheel those groceries to their house, right? Do you remember those days? You wheel the groceries to your house, they would pay you 25 cents or maybe 50 cents. 50 cents was a big deal back then. When they gave you 50 cents, that was high rolling. You know, they gave you 50 cents and that was high rolling. They gave you 25 cents, you were doing okay. You can get 25 cents, so no lower than 25 cents they would give you. You'd be 25 cents and that was good. But if you got 50 cents, you were floating. Even if you got $1, oh boy, you were on cloud 9, you know, if you got $1. But yeah, they did have those working papers and we did that. So my mom she taught me, and the reason why she made me go out and do that, because she wanted me to realize what work was all about. When you actually get out there on the workforce, she prepared me. You know, I didn't understand it at the time. I don't want to work. I want to go out on the weekends. I want to party with my friends, you know. I want to go out on outside and cut up all day and then party all night, you know. But she wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being along with us. And do you still have your working papers, Mary? Because I gave up everything. I'll tell you what I do have, though, that they no longer bother with. I still have my draft card. Oh yeah, I still have my draft card from Selective Service. Back in those days, they were drafting people. They didn't draft me because I was already in school. They couldn't draft you if you were in school, if you were the only child, or if you had flat feet. They couldn't drag you. They couldn't draft you then, you know. But then they were drafting. That's when the Vietnam War was on, and they were drafting people left and right. But if you were in school, or if you were the only child, or if you had flat feet, they couldn't drag you. Fortunately for me, I was in school, and I never served. Not that I didn't want to, but I was already, my education was very important to me, and I had the opportunity to go to college. And I think, yeah, I had the opportunity to go to college, and I went. And so that's the thing, one of the reasons why they couldn't draft me. But that's another show. That's another show. But we thank you so much for being along with us on the coffee hour. And we've got so many things going on. We try to fit everything in an hour, but I thank you so much. And Kevin, Senior Cigar, thank you for that information. 61 years old. 61 years old. Okay. All right. Not that let's see. And let me see. He wrote something else here. He says at 61, he was selling Buster Brown shoes at 61. He was selling oh, wait a minute. At 60, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me read that back. This thing flipped. Let me get back to that. It flipped. Okay. At 61 years old. Let me see. Where I lost it. I lost that information he just passed on to me. What happened to it? Just popped up somewhere. We missed it. I missed it. But he said he was selling Buster Brown shoes at 61 years old. I remember you mentioned that one time. 61 years old, he's selling Buster Brown shoes, and that's another nostalgic thing. Buster Brown shoes, right? You ever wore Buster Brown shoes, guys? Oh, back then, it was the thing to do. Buster Brown shoes were the things to wear. You had all those great shoe stores. You had Tom McCann's. You had Stacy Adams. Stacy Adams. Those were the expensive shoes. You had Stacy Adams shoes. And as far as the sneakers were concerned, back in those days, Converses. Which, by the way, Converses came back. The kids are wearing Converses today, right? But we wore them back in this. And what Converses today, I think, are like $45, $46, maybe $50 now. Back when we were wearing them, and you had only two selections of colors, right? You only had the blacks and you had the whites. Those are only two colors. Now you got colors, all kinds of colors in Converses. But you wore those. Those are the sneakers to wear. And they had a rhyme for Converses, If you wore anything outside of Converses or Pro Keds was another popular one. Pro Keds or track sneakers, right? If you wore anything outside of those, you wore plain sneakers. They were called hots, H-O-T. You bought them hot. They were hots. And but the Converses, right? They had a poem that we used to say in the neighborhood. Maybe it was just in my neighborhood, but it was called, "If your sneakers slip and slide, get the ones with the star on the side." Converses, baby. Oh, I had so many great memories as a kid coming up in high school and all of that. Okay, so Kevin Briscoe says he's collecting that next yearly check. Okay, listen, I'm all for it. As long as you collect. If you collecting money and you worked hard for it, yeah, by all means, if it's due you, you do it. You take it. You take it. But Mary, you're putting your age out there. Yeah, that's up to you. Fine, I'm not going to mention that, but because people could already see it. They could already see it. Okay. But I love the comments. Tom McCann, I did mention Tom McCann's. He had Tom McCann shoes, and any other shoe stores that you can remember, because those shoe stores were popular. They were popular, but the Converses were popular. And again, today, the kids who are wearing Converses now, they have all kinds of colors. They have the checkerboard ones. They have the blacks. They have the whites. They have reds. They have blue, which is my favorite color. And I think I'm going to get me a pair just to have them. Just to have them. I'm not going to wear them. I'm just going to have them. A pair of high top Converses with the star on the side, just to have them, And so many great memories as I was a kid. Let's see. Mary says that was 50 cents on the table at the bargain store. Speaking of bargain stores, there was John Bargain Store. They had them all over New York. I don't know if they had a chain of them across the nation, but I knew they had a John Bargain store. Boy, they a lot of things are happening. I'm going to get back to some of these things, but right now, what I want to do is I want to get together and I'll get back to you guys more about that because I love these conversations. I love having these conversations. Let's talk about a little entertainment. Here's something that you ought to know. Vanessa Williams is bringing Miranda Priestley to the stage on Monday. Williams and the producers of the upcoming London musical adaptation of The Devil Wears, and that's a proto announcement that Vanessa Williams will be playing the iconic fictional Runaway magazine editor-in-chief when the show begins performance in October. Williams shared videos of her Instagram account on her character of Miranda just to make the announcement. Actress Regina King is bringing Shirley Chisholm to life. In the first trailer of the upcoming Netflix movie Shirley, King steps into the shoes of the first Black woman to be elected to Congress. Chisholm's uphill battle and obstacles to win the seat in Congress was the daughter of the Barbados-born maid and a Guyanese laborer, illustrated in the film Sneak Peek, along with the struggle to navigate Congress alongside her white male colleagues. And the film chronicled groundbreaking moments from her life, including the audacious boundary-breaking 1972 presidential campaign. NBC Nightly News anchor Kate Snow, who also hosts the weekday program NBC Newsday, will be stepping away from her weekend hosting duties. Snow announced her upcoming departure during the Sunday broadcast on Nightly News. Snow joined NBC News in 2010 and has won 2 Emmys during her tenure. The Bob Marley biopic. We know all about this. Bob Marley One Love outperformed expectations to debut at #1 at the box office with a 27.7 million opening weekend, while Madam Web flopped with one of the lowest debuts for a movie that was centered at a Marvel character. Now, both films launched in the theaters on Tuesday to rope in the Valentine's Day moviegoers, but on the weekend, that was once expected to go to Madam Web. One Love emerged as the much preferred option in theaters despite largely poor reviews. And Madonna doesn't let her hang up, or Madonna doesn't get hung up on her stage misfits. Now on Sunday, the pop iconic star, took a minor tumble on stage. You heard about this, right? While performing her 1986 hit "Open Your Heart," after one of the dancers lost their footage, and she handled it like a pro. And doing the show at the Seattle Claim Pledge Arena, Madonna sat in the chair while performing the choreography for the track. After singing a few bars, one of the dancers began to drag her, still singing, in the chair and pulling her across the stage in stiletto heels. Way to go, Madonna. You nailed it. You aced it. You're a pro. And I say that because I'm selfish about Madonna. I love Madonna. Okay, birthdays today. Actress Dakota Fanning is 30 years old today. I watched her grow. Actress Kristen Davis is 59 years old today. And the late Peter Fonda, that's the son of Henry Fonda, he would have been 84 years old today. And that's what's happening in the world of entertainment. And of course, you know anything about what's happening in entertainment, we like you because we love these conversations coming from you. Also, before I go, I want to make sure that you know all about how to contact me. I have two different sources how you can do that. I have an email address and a telephone number. You can get involved with me with that. And all you have to do is be proactive and email me. Okay, I have 2, email and a telephone number. I'll give you the email address first. Email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. If you'd like to get in touch with me for any reason, you want to talk about the show, you have to critique the show, or maybe you won't have any ideas about the show, just get in contact with me. Keep all the information with you. That's Frank Allan Prod. As Prod is Prod, that's short for productions. Allan is spelled Allan. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. The telephone number, once again, is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Those movies, I have all the goods for you. Those Turner Classic Movies. Those of you who are going to partake in all of this, rather than cut up all weekend long, you want to sit back, relax, and enjoy some movies. I want to add some to your bucket list on what to watch. I have a few here. I have about 6 of them. So let me get started right now. First off, here's a movie called Strangers on the Train, back in 1951, a black and white classic. And it stars Robert Walker. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That's on Friday. And if you're in a Friday mode, that's tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. All the times I'm giving you are Eastern. We also have The Defiant Ones from 1958 with Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. That's Friday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Here's something that's a comedy drama, which is called Born Yesterday from 1950, starring Judy Holliday, William Holden, and Broderick Crawford. And that's coming on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And here's another classic from 1945, Mildred Pierce with Joan Crawford, Jack Carson, and Ann Blythe. That's on Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 12:45 a.m. That's Saturday night, Sunday morning. So if you can't stay up and watch it that late, by all means, DVR them and watch them at your own time convenience. I'll Cry Tomorrow, 1955, I love this movie, with Susan Hayward, Richard Conte, and Eddie Albert. That's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's at 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Sunday morning. Again, you could DVR this Sunday morning. You want to head out to church. Don't worry about it, DVR it. And finally, here's something. Stella! A Streetcar Named Desire. You got to know that when I yell like that, you got to know that's from that movie. Streetcar Named Desire, 1951. Marlon Brando, Vivian Leigh, and Kim Hunter. That's on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's all on Turner Classic Movies. I invite you to go to Turner Classic Movies and find out more about these other shows that I didn't mention, because these are my picks of the weeks, but there are other movies that you may like. So I send you there and you can check it out. And while you're there on demand, you can check out the free movies, and a lot of them from A to Z, chock full of them. And of course, they have the pay-per-view movies, and along with the pay-per-view movies, they have the movies that are in the theater now, presently, and then once were in the theater not too long ago, but they linger on and you can catch them there. And of course, there are a lot of children programs, sporting events, Lifetime movies, everything that you want. It's on demand and it's right there. And if you miss your favorite sporting event at any time, go the following day on demand and you can catch it. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you can catch it right there on demand, and you can catch it sometimes without commercials. Okay, so let me run down these movies once again for you. I hope you like them. We have Stranger on the Train with Robert Walker. That's Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The Defiant Ones with Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier, and that's on Turner Classic Movies Friday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Born Yesterday, Judy Holliday, William Holden, and Broderick Crawford. That's Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Mildred Pierce with Joan Crawford, Jack Carson, and Ann Blythe. That's Sunday at 12:45 a.m. Eastern. I'll Cry Tomorrow with Susan Hayward, Richard Conte, and Eddie Albert. Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And A Streetcar Named Desire, and that's with Marlon Brando, Vivian Leigh, and Kim Hunter. That's right there, all on Turner Classic Movies. I hope you get a chance to enjoy these movies. And as I always say, even back in the early days, you'll be glad you did. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to make sure that I be back here on Thursday, next Thursday, For Talk Back Live, Brian Camp is going to be here with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And I hope you make it a point to be here too. And if not, meet me back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. Brian Camp with Sports, me and you, all of us together, great conversation, and we're looking forward to seeing you. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.